Good morning. I hope you have revised the previous sessions. It's quite a long gap after the last session. Anyway, this is the continuation of the previous session. So listen carefully. We were discussing about CPU organization. Under that, the last topic was control unit, and now we are discussing about the control unit implementations. We can implement the control unit in two ways. One is hardware implementation, and the second one is microprogrammed implementation. Before going into the details, we must understand the difference between combinational circuit and a sequential circuit. These two circuits are digital circuits that can be found inside a computer. A combinational circuit is a type of circuit in which output is independent of time and only relies on the input present at that particular instant. That is, the combinational circuit will produce output based on the input given. On the other hand, a sequential circuit is a type of circuit where output not only relies on the current input but also depends on the previous output and time. So, the output of the sequential circuit is depending on the input and the previous output of some calculation or something, then it will also depend upon the time. Elementary building blocks for combinational circuit are logic gates. We will study the logic gates in detail in your second module. On the other hand, building blocks for sequential circuit are flip-flops, clocks, etc. A flip-flop is a circuit that is capable of storing one bit of information that is used for storing. Now we will discuss in detail about hardwired implementation. The hardwired approach views the control unit as a sequential logic circuit or finite state machine. It generates specific sequence of control signals in response to externally supplied instructions. So the control unit will produce a sequence of signals in response to externally supplied instructions. That are through the instruction code. It minimizes the number of components and maximizes the speed of operation. You can see the configuration here. We have a combinational logic circuit and to that we have input and we have a sequence counter, and based on the instruction given, it will produce some control signals. Now let's check whether the hardware implementation is good or not. Once hardware control unit is constructed, changes can be done only by redesigning the entire circuit. Therefore, it is called hardwired. So, if we want to change something, it is very difficult to do. It can be done by the redesigning. So it will be expensive if you want to change anything. This implementation can be used in systems where speed is important, because this is hardwired and we have direct connections and based on some the inputs, it will produce control signals. So if the speed is important, we can use this type of implementation. Next type is microprogrammed implementation. Microprogram control unit is implemented by using programming approach. That is, the other one, that is hardware implementation, is based on hardware, and this type of implementation is based on programming, or we can say based on software. A sequence of micro operations is carried out by executing a program consisting of micro instructions. These programs and the control signal selection and sequencing information, everything is stored inside a memory called read-only memory, or we can call this memory here as control memory. In this organization, any modifications or changes can be done by updating the micro operations that is stored inside the control memory by the programmer. So it is easy to make any changes. These micro operations can be changed by the programmer. Now let's see the nature of this type of implementation. The cost of manufacturing microprogram control unit is relatively higher than the hardware approach due to the presence of control memory and its access circuitry. So the initial implementation of the microprogrammed control unit is expensive than the hardware implementation. This approach tends to be slower because of extra time required to fetch micro instructions from the control memory. So otherwise we can do any changes easily. That is the main advantage of this type of implementation. Now let's see the general structure of microprogram control unit. This is a sequential logic. We have instruction code, and based on the address generator, that is the sequencer, we are considering the control address register and the control data register, and based on the instruction, that is the micro operation in the control memory, it will decide the what instruction to be considered, and based on this the decoding circuit will provide the control signals as the output of the control unit. Now let's see some more differences between hardware control and microprogram control. The first one is based on circuit and the second one is based on software. The hardware control is implemented through flip-flops, gates, decoders, etc. That is purely based on the sequential logic. And the other one is based on micro instructions. Hardware control is having fixed instruction format, but the microcontrol is having variable instruction format. Hardware control are register based, but the microprogram control are not register based. ROM is not used with hardware control. ROM is used with microprogram control. The hardware control is used in RISC, that is reduced instruction set computers, but if we have complex instruction set computers, we can use microprogram control. The hardware control provide faster decoding, but on the other hand, microprogram provides slower decoding. In hardware control is very difficult to modify, but microprogram control can be easily modified. Chip area is less in the hardware case, but chip area is large for the microprogram control. And when we manufacture this type of control unit, the hardware control is less expensive, but microprogram control is relatively expensive. Now we have discussed all the components of the CPU. I hope now you can understand this figure easily. We have discussed about various registers including PC, MAR, MDR, IR, etc. And you can see here R0 to Rn-1. There are some, these are some general purpose registers which we can call it as accumulators, and we have temp, Y, X, mux, like that, some registers that are registers used by the ALU or the CPU itself. These are not visible to the users. Only the general purpose registers will be visible to the users, and we have ALU and the control unit. And all these are connected through an internal bus, that is the CPU bus. Now we came to the end of the major topic, CPU organization. We have covered almost half of the module. One more major topic is in this module, that is about memory. We will discuss it in the coming sessions. Thank you.